live.
All right.
Awesome to be here in Pure, Michigan. Right? Do a little bixi podcast on the road.
Pure
Making new friends.
Michigan.
Is
Beer.
Is it that pure around here?
Yeah.
It smells a lot purer.
Great Lakes, great times.
Arclight Brewery. That's our guests from today. We're here to chit chat with the two brewers at Arclight, and
Hola.
I just want to know a little bit from you guys, your guys' name, your guys' background, you guys have been up to, starting with Ed Nash.
Yeah, my name is Ed Nash, and I've been brewing for 7 years or so now. Started Arclight. Dave, about 4.5 years in now, but probably be 5 years.
5 years you guys
Yeah.
been up and running here, huh?
Yeah, almost, yeah.
What it used to be this building before?
This building used to be a dealership, Dodge dealership.
Oh, really?
Yep.
A little small for a dealership, isn't it?
I think that's one of the reasons they moved out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
This
sense.
building was actually built way back in the 20s.
Yeah.
Started out as a gas station, and then in 1947 they added on the rest, and it was a Chevy dealership many years
Cool.
until the 70s, and then bought out by somebody else and converted to a Dodge
Yeah.
dealership. And I got about 5 years ago, they moved. The building became available.
So you guys jumped on this like straight away.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. And it works out really well for.
It does. I
Brewing.
really do like the building. You guys got an outside patio there and
Yep. We put
decent
that in.
parking lot. You know, I feel like
We have about 5 acres here total.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and the building is 10,000 square feet.
Cool.
There's a basement that people don't realize that we age our sours downstairs in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I want to take a look at maybe get
Yeah.
some footage down there too. Nice. You been in Michigan your life, Ed?
Yeah, I was actually born across the street.
Really?
Yeah. Then I was born and raised here in Watervliet until I was 18, and then I went off to the Air Force 8 years.
Oh, is that so?
And then I got out of the service, went to Chicago for 20,
Oh, nice.
and then came back here.
Dave told me you stationed in Turkey.
Actually, I was stationed in Spain, but we did temporary duty a couple times in Turkey, so I spent about 6 months in Turkey.
Very interesting. And he said about a beer that you guys do here, inspired by.
Yeah, we do a Turkish Pilsner. It's called Ataturk.
Is this what I'm drinking here? No.
No,
we
it's
don't
not
have it
currently,
right
no.
now.
Oh.
We rotate our Pilsners, and that's one of them. And the story behind that was when I was stationed there's a beer called Effie's, and it's national beer.
Okay.
It goes great with pistachios. And I wanted to do a Pilsner, and I happened to mention it to Mark one day, and I didn't realize Mark has been to Turkey as well. And he's like, "Oh my God, I love that beer."
I looked at him. I saw Turkish Pilsner on we have a list of beers we want to make.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, we're gonna make Ephes," and he just says, "How do you know what that is?" And I was like, "Well, I've been to Turkey, you know." And he's, it sort of snowballed.
Or
from
can you
there.
get a little closer to the mic?
Sure,
Yes, that's better.
sure.
What about you, Mark? So you guys known each other from like
Just
work,
here,
right?
actually.
Here. Nice.
I've been with the brewery. This is my 3rd year with the brewery. When the previous assistant brewer left the company, kind of left a bit of a void, and I was asked to kind of maybe come in and help for a couple days. And I really hadn't met Ed prior to that. I knew the front of the house staff and came in and. With our different backgrounds and everything, we kind of hit it off in a couple days. It's turned into a few years really quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. I like that. I like the vibe here too. Tell me more about where can I get your beers here in Michigan? You know.
Wow, you'd have to talk to the general manager.
Yeah, we do have a new general manager. His name's Matt Gaipa. He's really picked up the ball and got our distribution going. We're still self-distributing, but a lot of the major stores in the local area, as well as Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, and now we're east side of the state as well, largely in part to him. I mean, it's, we're spreading for sure.
That's good.
Yeah, we just started distributing in Illinois, mostly in the Chicago area.
Well, including bixi.
Yeah,
Have you guys made it out there yet?
I was there before it opened.
Oh, you there?
Yeah.
You never had.
I saw your rig.
Okay. My rig.
I saw your brewery rig. It's nice.
Nice. Yeah, it was.
Beautiful facility.
It was very challenging to say the least. You know, we had almost 4 years in the make, and lots of setbacks, and it's a very ambitious project overall. Well, we're here to talk about you guys. What I have from you guys do a lot of sours here too, right?
We do.
Yeah.
We do fruited sours.
Yeah. You guys buy the fruits and age with it. Can you tell me a little bit?
Yeah. So start out with our sour base, and we sour that for 6 months, and then we acquire the fruit, and then we put the fruit in the barrels.
Yeah.
And then we
are your barrels downstairs? I'm gonna take a couple of shots of your barrels and
absolutely.
You know, just chill somewhere in here.
In here. So then we add the fruit to the barrels, and then we sour base on top of it. Let it sit for another 6 months. Or take an extra month or two, and when they're ready, we pull them out.
How's the reception on that? With
the sours?
Yeah.
Well liked.
Yeah. Good. That's good. And you guys do some bottling too?
Mm-hmm. We do. We do bottle. Every time we have a flavor that comes out, we bottle it and release. Release for that.
That's good. That's good. So then again, I go with this is an outlet, you know, an outlet that I'm trying to create so we can it's kind of like a PRV, you know, release the pressure of being a brewer, and it's more of a cautionary tale on breweries can be fatal, you know, breweries can be deadly, and things happen in the brewery, not always great things happen in the brewery scenario. And I kind of like to share those stories with.
Like when a tri-clamp pops off and.
Yeah.
Somebody comes running in your office saying we got a leak.
Yeah.
This time I won't have to break the ice. So guys are gonna break the ice and tell me your horror stories.
Brewery nightmares. I think probably my biggest horror story is I just kegged off Moe's IPA, a few kegs of it to get it ready for the weekend, and it was before we opened on a Friday, and as I took everything off, or was getting ready to, I closed the valve on the side of the tank, and in my haste, I didn't check all my tri-clamps to make sure that they were still tight, and they do come loose with expansion and contraction.
Absolutely. Tri-cane clamp, that's what I like to call them.
Yeah, and as I closed it, and keep in mind we had nearly 18 pounds of pressure and almost 7 barrels of beer in the bright tank, that valve came off, and it hit me with enough force to where nearly took me off my feet, and I slammed the valve back on.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see it. At this point, it hit me so.
Were you by yourself?
I was by myself at the time.
My eyes are stinging.
Yeah, I mean, it was in my eyes, my face, everything. And our bartender, I'm yelling for help. He comes back and he's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I got a leak. Go get Ed." And well, the bartender in question, he's very even keel, and he walked back to the office and goes, "Hey guys, Mark's got a leak back there. He needs some help." He didn't even raise his voice or anything. It wasn't until Ed actually looked at the security camera and just saw what was going on. And and the thing is by the time it got up there, I had a good hold on it, but my hands were so cold I could no longer feel the valve.
Yeah.
And I'm yelling, trying to, we got to get this like this, because it's our popular beer. And finally, Ed just very calmly just says, "Mark, it's only beer. Let it go." And yeah, I let it go, and we finally got it under control and everything, but we lost.
I swept out my superhuman strength and.
Yeah. It's one thing of I think the first thing that you do when you become a professional brewer, you get used to beer down the drain.
Yeah.
It's just part of the job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nobody's life is worth that or getting hurt.
Yep.
Yeah, and
I do have a similar story to that one. What happened to me? It was an early brew day. We were doing a double batch on that day. It was a previous packaging facility that I used to work at, and I'm pretty sure I shared the story already, but I kind of like to retell it every now and then. I was CIPing a fermenter, and I had the hot liquor pump on, and I was switching up hoses.
Oh.
Yeah,
I see where this is going.
Same thing.
I see where
Yep.
this is going.
Same thing that happened to you, but instead of beer,
Hot water.
hot 100, 180, 190 degree water.
Yeah.
You know, first, second degree burns on my chest and thighs.
Wow.
Now, how many times had that happen again
Yeah.
with me?
Ah.
Just one time only.
Well, and I think that's one thing in our business is that a lot of people don't realize is, one of the biggest dangers is actually just pressure in itself.
Yeah.
And it's pressure by volume. And when you release it, it's coming out with you
That's
with way
not
more
really
force.
High pressure.
Yeah.
Even like 2 to 3 pounds. That'll blow a cap right off the.
And yeah.
We'll send it going pretty.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Talk about pressure too. I don't think I shared this one, but another early day. I was hired. It was about starting my day at 4. I was selling the tank by noon, 1 o'clock. I opened a pressurized tank. I took a tri-clamp out of the sample port on the fermenter. I took the tri-clamp out in a 15 psi pressurized tank. Luckily, my face was not. I was not doing this. I was kind of side and then taking the tri-clamp off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeast everywhere, and it was.
Checked out yeast. Dangerous.
What about you, Ed?
Cars.
What was the one of the worst things that happened to you?
Gosh. Yeah, usually we were together when it happened. So
Yeah.
like anything individual,
Yeah.
I mean, there's the odd times like we'll be doing CIP. But, they would close the thing, you pull the hose off, and then I reached underneath and opened up the valve. Residual hot water that was in the tube,
Oh yeah.
and it was about 180 because we were cleaning one of the bright tanks after we had a sour in there.
Yeah.
So really hot water for that. Hard to say.
Well, there's also
I mean,
filling after sours with nearly boiling and have it come out the
come
top.
out the top and stuff. So we got to be careful. I mean, the first time we did it, we forgot about that, about the top. Nobody got hurt or anything.
No.
So when you start getting,
Oh, that's
you
good,
gotta start
yeah.
filling
Yeah.
slow.
Hey guys, this is serious business.
Yeah.
And there's also the things that happen at every brewery that I talk to. Drains that don't drain.
We've had
Puddles of water.
occasionally.
Puddles of water sitting. The water goes everywhere but the drain. Even though the pitch is wrong. I have a friend of mine, German friend of mine, and this is a worldwide problem, right?
Yeah.
It has there's to do with pouring the concrete right and doing the right, getting the right angle for the pitch. But he said, if I ever building a brewery from now on from scratch, I'm gonna approach the floor, throw a bucket of water down.
Yeah.
Where's the water gonna go?
Yeah.
There. Okay. The drain's gonna go
Yeah,
there.
right.
You know.
No, that's a good. I brewed at a brewery once, and they were pretty. But when they poured the floor, forgot to angle it. After brew day, it took like an extra hour. Luckily, the room was small. Never pitched, even though they had a drain.
Yeah.
So everything had to be squeegee. They had to make this container that fit.
That gets old
Yeah.
fast.
That was a good learning experience. So when I got time to do my brewery, keep things like that. In fact, anybody wants to get into brewing, they should check out other breweries and stuff and find out like
You got to get time, man.
you could do it differently. What would
Yeah.
you do?
Yeah.
So when it comes time to do your brewery, you can you avoid those pitfalls like that. Little things like that you don't think about, but it makes a huge difference.
By the way, I like this beer. The
Saison?
Saison, yeah.
Yeah. French saison.
Like that.
Yep. Thanks.
So far, so clean. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, we try to keep it clean.
But things like human error that overflow a hot liquor tank. It's I forgot. How many times you go back home and you're like, shit, I forgot a valve. I forgot. I left. That happened to me twice. Leave a beer carbonated overnight because you forgot to turn off the CO2.
Oh, I did that too.
I've boiled the hot liquor tank twice.
That's not as bad that's not as bad as
sensors on our hot liquor tank, so it
shuts
there
off.
you go. That's what you should do.
Fill with RO, so it shuts the RO off to it.
Yeah.
But one thing we forget to do sometimes, we have a CO2 that we use to hook up for pressurizing tank, pushing beer or whatever, and we usually turn the pressure up high, but sometimes we reconnect it to one of our tanks, and drop it down from 30 psi.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we come to the next day and everything's fine. It's just got a beer now that's probably like, I don't know, 8 volumes.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit carbonated,
Yeah, a little bit carbonated.
I think that will peel off the skin from your tongue. All your taste buds just scrubbed out.
It's like pure foam.
Yeah.
We couldn't figure out for the longest time. We finally got the CO2 out of it, but yeah.
Well,
That's
little things like that. We don't even have a note or anything. We just have to, like you said, you do it once or twice, and then it's like, double check yourself.
mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Or brewing, and then assuming that you have certain grains in stock.
Yeah, we get a lot of times we get real, we change things up last second, based on what's currently popular or whatever, and there's a lot of times we'll end up having to do the grain substitutions last second because it's like, we thought we had something and we had used it for something else, and it happens,
And you're like, it's brew day, and it's go time. The mash is already partially in, and you're like, I don't have the grain. Where's the grain?
No. I mean, the thing is I usually come in at about an hour, half hour to an hour before we get started, just because it's quiet. I got the place to myself.
Yeah.
There's no distractions, and I go through and I weigh all my grains before we run it through the mill. So everything's separated, so I'll know before Ed arrives if we've got a problem. A lot of times we are pretty good about checking the day before or whatever, but we do get busy.
Yeah.
And yeah, you get started and it's just like, crap, or you'll end up like you'll open a bucket. We've had it to where because sometimes we'll have additional help in here, and a bucket will say like 60L or whatever, you open up and it's black malt or whatever, and it's like totally the wrong malt, and it's like, well, I guess I should open and check that. You kind of get complacent every once in a while, and that's usually when it reminds you that you shouldn't get complacent.
Yeah.
So
that's when the recipe changes and you come out with
a better beer, brand new beer.
Yeah.
You have to for brewing.
Yeah. Well, it's like, well, we'll just call it something different. Yeah. Or we keep the name and it's really that much better. So,
yeah.
And I think that's one thing with us is, we're constantly, challenging ourselves to make better beer, whether it's more clean, try to perfect the recipes, be a little bit ahead of the curve. One thing with us is we don't generally follow the footsteps of trends and what's with other breweries. We just try to make great beer.
Yeah.
And, they're like the French saison, both Ed and I we're not, it's not really a beer that we normally have done and drank. And when last summer we decided to make one, we kind of really stepped out of our comfort zone to make it. I think we kind of nailed it right off the bat. And then this one is even better still.
There's a lot of evolution that goes into as well. If you that's when you can take advantage of a smaller system.
Mm-hmm.
You can or a style or a brand that you're not established with yet, and make it better. Just back by, I just remember another nightmare that happened. It's not as bad as it's worse than missing grain to whatever you need for that recipe. It was when you're you're transferring your wort to the wrong fermenter.
Oh.
Have you had that happen to you guys?
Well, I pitched yeast to the wrong fermenter.
We've also transferred wort back into the mash tun while something else was mashing.
Yeah.
We had that happen recently during
no,
the brew day.
Yeah, look, I had extra yeast.
Right, extra yeast.
I pitched it
Whatever
the wrong
happened to
thing and, like,
whatever happened to that beer?
I had
Just-
extra. We were pitching like USO 5,
Okay.
so I have extra things. And, I just had a blank moment there, and I pitched it in the wrong tank, and so just grabbed another one and pitched it in the right tank. But the other one, nothing really. Yeah, it didn't like re-ferment or anything.
Yeah.
$60 mistake, but yeah.
Wow.
And then it's like not gonna.
For me, well,
The fermenters, they all look the same.
I noticed I was going to the wrong fermenter about halfway into it was a 15 barrel batch.
Mm-hmm.
So it
wasn't sanitized.
no it was there was beer in it.
Oh, there was
beer.
So you ran out of headspace quick.
It was a 30 barrel fermenter with 15 barrels in that fermenter with the beer, and I was pumping a different wort into the fermenter.
So what happened to that beer?
Well, we had to create a new beer.
And what?
Did you?
We created a new beer because I think it was.
Ferment out or?
I think it was a porter, and we're pumping in a blonde into it, so it was ended up being an amber.
Yeah, the black and tan.
Yep, it ended up being an amber beer. So we're like, we'll just roll with that.
Beer, huh?
Yeah.
So the wort fermented, like even though the other one was already fermented out.
It was in the middle of fermentation, so it was propagation. It had
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well,
if you think about
timing.
propagation,
Yeah.
the beer, if it was originally a 30 barrel fermenter, it was propagating as.
Right.
I'm going too detailed because I don't want to put people to sleep. Talk about propagation. Yes.
Beer
Yeah.
nerds.
Wrong beer into the wrong fermenter. That's a way to create a new beer too.
Yeah.
Unintentionally. And well, yeah. When you said no, then you said there was another story
About the yeast or?
about the yeast and
We put the wort back into the.
Yeah, we had a.
The valves were not selected.
Yeah.
We did a double batch that day. After we do the boil, the wort, and start moving it to the fermenter. The other one is sitting in the mash tun, ready to be lautered, and so we opened the valves and I started transferring it, but didn't realize that at the time it was actually going back into the mash to the mash tun until it started overflowing.
Yeah, I'm down getting ready to hook up because we run out and have the open valve, and until the wort starts coming out, that I don't hook up to the fermenter. It pumps anything that's in that line, you get it out, and whether it's water, cleaning materials, whatever, it cleans that line out, and then when it goes to wort, I close the valve, hook it up to the fermenter, and off to the races we go. Well, I'm standing down there just waiting. I'm thinking, man, this is taking a long time. And finally, I looked up and I saw nothing was coming through the sight tube. And I'm like, hey, I'm not getting anything. And walked around to the back and I was like, okay, all the valves are open. And I just happened to look up and I'm like, you're pumping into the mash tun. And he's like, no, I'm not. That's good. I'm like, close the valve. and right about the time I said close that valve, he looked and his eyes got huge. He's like, it was like it was ready to come over.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. So, but if there was one beer for it to do it, it would have been that one. That's because, very forgiving.
I wanted to say that because I remembered I was supposed to be doing the CIP in the cattle. Little I knew I was sending caustic to the hot liquor tank.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's just say that 2 vessels got CIP on that day. I had to take everything.
You probably needed it anyways.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Time to.
I didn't need it an extra 4 hours on my day that day.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't need. But you're right. I probably needed it. Oh boy. One that I like to talk about. I talked that at Old Irving Brewing in Chicago with Trevor. talked about slow lauder, to the point that we call it. No, it's just nothing's flowing. The lauder's completely stuck. There's no more scrubbing, and you want to just crack the mainway on a lauder tank just a little bit open
Yeah.
with a lot of mash, a lot of water. The point that door just swings open.
Oh,
Yeah. Yep. So that happened when I told this story. It's funny that a couple of stories that we kind of can relate a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling the story, and he was telling me that it happened to those guys too. It's just like, be patient.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever have a stuck lauder, be patient, because if you try to hurry up, it's not going to be worth it.
Well, we go through a lot of rice hulls. We make sure.
Yeah.
After you do that once,
Yep.
rice hulls are cheap.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
the time it takes to unstuck.
And you have a two vessel here? Two vessel system, single infusion. I gotta say, I don't make it up to Michigan too often, but I just love coming here. How far you guys are from the beach from here?
About 15 minutes.
yeah.
15 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be nice in the summertime, huh?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. It is gorgeous here.
Best sunsets in the world.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
No
Is it-
sharks.
Are you being a little biased?
I've lived enough places to see a lot of. I've traveled a lot and seen a lot of sunsets, and there's no place like home.
Yeah.
There's no biased opinions here. Okay.
No, not
Okay.
us.
Okay.
Never.
We got two iconic breweries here, Founders and Bells, right down
I've been once to Kalamazoo. I loved it. Also, along with their brew pub, the beer stock exchange, right?
Oh, yeah, the beer
That's why I was
exchange.
talking.
Yep.
I was talking to the car on the way up here.
Yep.
Let's just go in there. Like a group of 30 people.
Yeah.
Let's all order PBRs or whatever
It's
domestic
not-
beer. The price is gonna go up, and everything is gonna, lower the price. And all
All
this.
pretty cool. They have their beer on there.
Yeah.
We
You have your beer in there?
yeah,
Yes.
we got our beer on there. Yeah.
Okay.
Just see the prices go up and down.
That's
Yeah, they start
that's a
at
neat
6
place.
o'clock.
Yeah.
The stock market starts at 6 and then it crashes. That was pretty cool.
It's a neat place.
Yeah, it is
Definitely a
a
neat
neat
place.
place,
Are you guys, how are winter months here for you guys?
Well, it depends on what context.
Yeah. For
Right.
for us, it's kind of our busy time. I mean, there's a lot just in terms of maintenance around the brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, we're making a lot of the beers that have to sit for a length of time, whether it be sours, barrel aged beers, etc.
It's time to catch up on
Yeah.
a lot of
Mhm.
things that you can't do. We are really seasonal here, and January, February being our slowest months. So, it gives us a chance to get caught up on building maintenance, brewery maintenance
New projects.
projects, and of course March, April, everything starts heating up again. Up with demand.
Awesome. Cool, guys.
And then right now we're starting our production plant across the street.
Across the street.
Yeah.
We have here we have two 40-barrel fooders. We have across the street 6 60-barrel fooders.
Yeah.
3 more on the way. So a total of 11 hour production.
Cool.
Wrapping up.
How about we go around? I'll take some footage
Yeah.
out of your production. Slap everything together. Make this podcast look prettier.
Yeah, we can do that.
And you can tell me a little bit more about your facility.
Sure. Do that.
That sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Bye.